right, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. I have no business for this committee, but the judge has, asked me to call this, and he's putting in some, doing a little road work, and he just wants a little. No, Judge, with that being said, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, what I'm prepared to speak on today is basically the logistics that's involved in getting the road material to the county and then getting it out, dispersed out to the different roads, and how much we've spent, what I'd like to do for next year, what we're doing right now, what we've already done, those type of things. I'm not prepared to speak on the revenues, but somewhat on the expenditures. We've put out roughly 1,216 loads of red clay gravel, and which is kind of new for Mississippi County because historically we've done the slag, and I don't think the slag has ever been a really good product for our roads. The red clay gravel lasts a great deal longer, it sets there better, and it's a lot easier on the tires. So we implemented this program in 19, and we were averaging 12 loads a day. It takes about 100 loads to do a mile. So we were handicapped on not being able to get it out to the roads because it wasn't here. We was having to go to Harrisburg to pick it up. So what we started to do last year is to stockpile for this year. And so we stockpiled in 5 different locations so that we'd be closer to where we needed to go and be able to, in fact, we averaged, we went from 12 loads a day to 50 loads a day. So now we're covering a great deal more area. 1,216 loads of red clay gravel and 933 loads of slag. And we're stockpiling right now. We filled the shop area up, which is one of our 5 areas, and we've had 2 tickets from one of our vendors, and that is Joe Harris, one for 95 and one for 129 on 2021. And so that's 224 loads. I know he's done more since then. You might as well say probably north of 250. The county started hauling today. So in fact, we have moved to the Wildy Farm, who has generously offered us a spot there to stage gravel so we can get in that area. We'll do Wildy, we'll fill that up, and then we'll move to Gosnell. So I say Gosnell, it's actually Half Moon area.
Judge, this, what we're stockpiling right now is like for next spring, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
We quit hauling the red clay to the gravel roads, and I think we ended it, the last one, I think we put out a little bit in August. No, we finished August. When it first got that cold snap and we had a chance to rain, we decided we're just gonna stop. Because we put that out on wet ground and then it rains on it, it just turns into a soup, and it's just useless.
Right. But that's what we're hauling now is red clay?
That's correct, yeah.
What we're stockpiling.
That's what we're stockpiling. We do have some slag stockpiled. I don't have a number on it right now, but what we'd like to do is, and I think we've had a really good year in spite of the wet spring. I'm satisfied with the number of loads that we've got, given our equipment and our personnel. One other change that I want to mention too is that we've done is we had 5 dump trucks, and we added a tractor trailer with a belly dump bed, which has been a really nice addition to the road department, because when that truck fills up, and it holds quite a bit more material, it gets to the job site, and we've got it to where now we can run at 25 miles an hour. We'll slow down to 25. He'll get to that area, he'll hit the button, the belly door will open, and it will never quit moving. And then when it's emptied, closes the door, like I said, never quits driving, and goes back and gets another load. So that was a good addition, and then we totaled out one truck last year when we were hauling concrete to some eroded areas in the spring. So we're short that one. We had a trailer truck that we weren't using every day. It was, so we were able to move it around. So what we did was we bought another trailer that had a belly dump on it, and we're utilizing that truck more. So now we've got 4 dump trucks and 2 belly dumps. We've completed all of the gravel account, and then we started moving over into another account. And we talked about this last year, this time when we were getting set up. I still didn't know exactly all the ins and outs on how we were going to get to where we were going, and so we left the bridges fund intact, knowing that we weren't going to build any bridges, and I don't see that in the foreseeable future. We have torn one down, and we're fixing to tear another one down, and I don't think that's going to be the end of it. But and we are putting one up, and somewhere just over $1 million in the $500,000 area. So we were using that fund to stockpile or to put out and to stockpile our gravel. The last expenditure guideline, which was I have, is for the end of August. We had depleted that gravel account, and so we're down there at $71,000. So my figures are showing, and I'm going to go ahead and add those tickets that we've gotten that's not been posted yet on here. We're at right at $377,000 worth of material right now, which puts us $127,137 behind in that account that we're going to take from the bridges account. So anyway, I think what I wanted to talk to y'all about is, like I said, trying to get the material stockpiled, setting a date that we think we can get it out, and then cutting it off again at, say, somewhere around the end of August, and then stockpiling again. And then that way we'll get enough material before it sets in raining that we'll have enough to go when it does get dry in the spring.
To use your, just a question, you say you do have some slag?
Yes.
Okay, that's what you'll use it this
Yes,
fall?
That's right. When, especially when the farmers start hauling out after it gets wet,
Yeah.
the roads will end up with depressions in them, and then we'll take the slag out there and fill them up. And then when it does get spring and it warms up again, then we'll come back and overlay red clay over it.
And you're wanting to stop hauling when and start again?
I'd like to set a date, and that date hadn't been set yet, but somewhere, well, at the end of the summer when we lose our heat and the rain chances go up, and just stop, and then we'll use our trucks then to stockpile. And then we'll stockpile until it gets too wet, and hopefully, like I said, then we'll, in the spring when it gets warm enough to put the red clay out and dry, then we'll start all over again.
Does the red clay store well?
It does, except this spring when we got out there and it was nice and it was warm and we was ready to go, it was so wet we couldn't hardly load it. So we were having to take a front end loader out there and then stir it and kind of let it dry because it wouldn't come out of the truck right. But it does sit there as long as, but the first part of the spring is a problem.
Yeah. Well, how you doing on your budget as far as taking money out of the bridges, are you gonna have enough money left in your bridges?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No, we're just at, we're at $127,000, it's gonna move out of a $500,000.
Okay.
And some of this too, that got into this wrong account, asphalt, we need to move it over to asphalt. There's a few $1,000s there that's gonna change the numbers up a little bit. We need to do some housekeeping on it.
Okay.
Judge, has anybody ever checked into the SP2? I mean, I know it's real expensive to get it hauled here from Black Rock. That's the closest place to get it. But like Rick Ellis is bringing it in by barge. I just wondered if we could bring it in by barge and it would be reasonable or feasible to use SP2, which is probably the best gravel out there.
Oh yeah, that's probably the best material.
Yeah.
I looked into it, but it's been a long, long time ago, and it didn't work, but I think it's worth looking into again. Like I said, I didn't know that Mr. Ellis was doing that, but that would be a nice addition to our gravel roads.
Yeah, he was doing it down when he had Mid-River Terminal, and I'm pretty confident he's doing it up here at the Barfield now.
All right, I'll check into that.
Because I called him the other day about some material, and he was supposed to get back with me on the price, and just for my driveway, for my personal use.
If we could get close to what we're doing on the red clay gravel, I'd really be interested, because the problem with the red clay is, especially that first year before it matures, if you're driving it down it like you're gonna have a red vehicle.
Yeah. It's, I'm almost gonna say this, I mean, a lot of people still complain about the roads, but our county roads, and I've driven every one of them in my 30-something year career, and of this game board, they're in so much better shape right now than they have been in a long, long time, so.
We're working hard but we got 1,100 miles, so.
Yeah, I know, and Tony's doing an excellent job. I mean,
Yeah.
I just wanna put that out there.
And actually, when you think about the fact that we've got 6 trucks, we got mainly 5, but sometimes we have 6, and we were hauling 12 loads a day, and I think that's when I figured it. 1,100 miles, it was gonna take us 83 years to get everything done. We're going faster, but we won't, it's.
Some of us don't have that long to live.
Some of
I don't
us,
call any names.
some of us are 78 years old, buddy.
Happy birthday.
But I mean, I want to back up and say, I said Tony Stone's doing a good job. His entire road department's doing a good job.
We got a good crew.
I mean, I'll get calls about road, and I pick up the phone, call Tony, and Tony takes care of it,
My two departments, the county roads and the landfill, they make me look like I'm doing a good job, and they're very good. They get there really early, they're ready to go to work, 6:30, 7 o'clock, and they're gone.
Well, I'm with Bubba. I think that I haven't received any complaints this year. And I still drive around and look, and I see places that need some work, but you're not gonna get to everything. And unless somebody brings it to your attention, you're probably not gonna even know about it.
That's right.
And Tony fields a lot of your phone calls for you. He does a good job.
Yes,
He does a good job.
He does a very good job.
Yeah. And the whole road department is. You still hear some complaints in the spring and in the winter, but nothing like it used to be. And as far as the stockpiling goes, as far as I'm concerned, that's the only way to go unless you can get the SB2 at the.
I'll look into that.
Reasonable
We'll find
price.
out where we are on that, and
We're not fortunate enough to live close to Black Rock, but that's what Lawrence County uses exclusively is the chat, and it holds up so much better
yes, it does.
than anything you can put out. Well, it probably doesn't hold up a whole lot better than slag, but it does, because every time you drive over the slag, you're losing part of your road. That dust you see, Donald Laster explained that to me when he ran the road department. He said, every time you see that dust, there goes your road.
There's the road.
Yeah.
It doesn't last long.
That slag's so rough on tires.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
Choose them up.
yeah, and then it's got so much metal in it. You just have a lot of flats if you run a lot of gravel.
Well, not only that, it's, the grader blades have to be changed a lot more often when you're using slag than it does.
Oh,
the red clay.
speaking of greater blades, and I'm working on the budget right now. We have used a great deal more than we've had in the past several years. The drivers are doing a really good job there. See if I can find it. Yeah, we're actually $10,000 over there. We had an annual budget of 30, and we've done 40,000. So we're going through the drive. We're covering some miles, which is a good thing. I mean, overall, the road department is under, as far as percentage-wise, we're under budget. So I mean, we're in good shape.
The thing that I don't see this year that I could see in the past years was road graders sitting on days when they ought to be working, and the driver be sitting out beside them in the truck. And I know that sometimes they're broke down and waiting on somebody to come help them, but they don't do it every day after day after day, and I'm not seeing that.
The GPS has been a good addition. We can produce maps at the end of the day, find out how far everybody went, where they started, where they ended. The dump trucks, we can tell where they started, where they ended. Every time they dump their bed, it's marked, so we can count loads there. It's been a really good informational tool. But I will present this to the finance department, and I don't have any totals to say where we're at, but I think that gives you a rough idea about what we're talking about. And if you approve that, then I will also get the information on the limestone and report back to y'all. And if you want to meet again before it's presented, in fact, if you want to meet again, we can before budget, and if y'all approve, then I can give it to you, and if you want to present that to the finance.
Before the next meeting, is that what you're talking about?
Well, before finance meets on the road department.
Oh, okay. Well, we need to push it on out. My dad's gonna have some surgery Thursday,
Okay.
and we're his caretaker while he's down, so
Or it may be that I just get the information to everybody.
that'll be fine too. That'll be
Okay.
fine. Fine with me. I mean, if it suits the rest of the committee. That's where it eventually ends up anyway.
I think that's where you should probably go with it straight off of it.
Yeah.
Just do finance. And then let that move to full court, but, the roads are one of the most important things to the citizens of the county, so I think we need to do everything we possibly can.
What about equipment? Where are you? You say you lost one dump truck, but you replaced it with the trailer to go on a trailer
I think
truck.
we're in good shape on the equipment.
Okay.
I
That's good
think
to
the
hear.
last thing that we bought a hammer, and because we know we're going to have several bridges to take down. We've got another one right now that we're going to take down in. It's right off of. It's right off of the Half Moon area. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. You may know because you go out in those.
Used to.
Yeah, it's if you're leaving Highway 18 and you're headed down 239, there's that real sharp turn. You go straight and then turn right, and you end up in the bean field. Well, there's a bridge out there.
Right, I know what you're talking about.
And we're going to have to take that one down. And I've been trying to get the Corps out there to give us a permit to maybe put in some culverts so the farmers can get across it. But the state is really on me really bad about getting rid of that bridge, so we're going to have to take it out. And we're going to have some more of this we're going to have to take out.
And
When
the
we
reason-
replace bridges with culverts, that's a big money savings.
Yeah.
The bridges you're taking down, I know that we had caught up with the bridge building at one time. The bridges that you're taking now, are all of them, you gonna try to get culverts? Is that what you're planning?
Yes, that'd be the first go-to. It'll be culverts or boxes.
Okay.
They prefab those boxes, I believe in Jonesboro, and I'm not really familiar how to do that, but we'll get up to speed on it.
Somebody should have told the highway department about that, cause they just put one in across from, a business of mine, and it was a mess.
Yeah.
They hired a crew that couldn't speak English, so they didn't know how to do the rebar.
Yeah,
And it was, they had to undo the rebar, and finally the contractor, the third time around, done the rebar himself.
yeah.
So I don't know where they prefab, you're talking about the boxes.
Right,
Yeah, I don't know where they do that, but that's a good idea.
I
yeah.
think Hedger does it.
Do they?
Hedger Concrete, yeah.
Yeah. And if you're asking my opinion about the stockpiling, I think that's the only way, you know. We started that several years ago and that's the only way to go, because you just can't haul every day.
I will say something, you asked about the equipment, we're in good shape on the equipment. One thing I think we really need to look at hard is getting some high vis uniforms for the road department and the landfill both. They're expensive, and they're a little bit warmer, you know, to wear while you're at, especially the good ones. But both of those groups are in a working environment where they need to be seen. So at some point I may get Centos over here to speak with y'all and see what you think. I had talked with them. They wanted me to sign a multi-year lease, which I do kind of understand, but I didn't feel comfortable doing that because, you know, that's going to encumber. We're going to have to all be aware of that we'd have to have some money encumbered on paying that, but it ended up on the back burner and I just hadn't revisited, but I need to get the Centos rep up here and y'all speak with him.
Okay. Just, as far as I'm concerned, anytime after this week, I think I'll be to where I can do it, but
And we don't have to do it just right now. I mean, we could do it in the.
those people need to be seen.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
We're probably in violation of OSHA regulations right now by them not having high-vis uniforms. I mean, I don't know that, but
And the question is, if, you know, in the short term, why not look at the high visibility vests?
Well, no, we do have those, and we have an account set up for the vest, so,
that covers it, yeah.
yeah.
Anybody else?
I'm like you, I think the stockpiling's great, that way we can get the material on the roads when the weather permits. And the only thing about the stockpiling is, I gotta say this judge is doing it right, because he stockpiles it and then he uses it. In the past, I've seen judges stockpile it and never get on the road.
Well, I apologize for us not having more meetings, but 2019, you know, was my first one, and there was so much going on that I didn't really have a direction or any information or any questions. And so we just had to bump through this thing and find out what we were capable of and what we weren't.
Well, there again, if there's no bad business to go on, then you really don't need the meetings. And the business has been good.
Well,
this past year.
I want you to know everything that's going on.
Yeah, well, we want to be informed, that's for sure. We do that. But it looks like the road department's in good shape right now. I'm proud you hired Tony back, if you want to know.
He's doing a good job.
He is. Anybody else?
Well, I
You through?
appreciate y'all coming. I'm through. That's all the information I have.
Well, we'll adjourn then.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for coming. That's one of these we had out the landfill, and I think there was 3 of us.